So I haven't done an update in months. A lot of stuff has happened, so I'm kind of wanting to reach out and let you guys know what's going on. So, I figured out that medical marijuana, I got my card like in July of 2017. I got medical marijuana and I was using it for, I have a bunch of other disabilities besides the Sphincter of Oddi Dysfunction, but that was like the main thing that I used it for. And it got to the point where like I would start having an attack and I would smoke, and then within 5 minutes I was totally fine, like no issues, nothing. And I get a high CBD, low THC, or a 1-to-1 ratio, and that way I'm not getting really high. Like it just kind of relaxes me, which I think relaxes the sphincter, and then I'm good to go. Um, Sometimes it makes it worse before it gets better. So I'll smoke and then I'm in extreme pain for like 5 minutes and then it dies down and everything's fine. So that's kind of been nice, um, because I haven't been in the hospital in, I don't know, almost 9 months or something. Yeah. So that's pretty freaking shocking because I was in the hospital like once a month or, every 2 months for 2 years. So that's kind of a big deal. Um, I also had my first encounter with a doctor who thought I was drug seeking. So that was fun. I came in with an attack to the ER I always go to because they know me there. And I get really fast service there. Like, if I go to the one in the town that I live in, you're gonna be there for like 5 hours, and my attacks only last for like 2 hours. So I'm like, this is kind of pointless and stupid. So I either wouldn't go to the hospital and just kind of like scream through the pain at home, or I would drive all the way to the next town over and go to the emergency room there, and they would treat me really quickly with no issues. I usually was in the waiting room for like 5 minutes, maybe. Last time I went, I think I sat down in the chair and then they called me back. So that's the ER that I go to. It's one of the reasons that sometimes I don't like the town that I live in, just because there's not really much to do. But thinking about it, I'm disabled and I don't really want to do anything anyway. So it's kind of like, okay, well, what are you gonna do if there was like bowling and all kinds of stuff to do and all that? Would I really even do it? Probably not. So, um, so that's kind of like the big like SOD news, is just kind of like medical marijuana has changed my life and it's been for the best. But Mother's Day, so May 13th, 2018, I woke up and I was throwing up, and I thought it was just because I didn't get really any sleep for like a couple days. I kept tossing and turning and stuff. So usually, if I don't get enough sleep, I have to sleep a lot. Like I sleep like 10 to like 12 hours. And my daughter does the same thing. So I don't know what that's about, but I have to sleep a lot to be okay. If I get like less than 7 hours, I can't function and I'm just miserable. So I think I got like 5 hours of sleep. I woke up really nauseous and it was Mother's Day and my husband was barbecuing and I just wasn't feeling it. And normally with my nausea, I can like hold it together. I'm pretty much fine. Like I'm nauseous, but I don't ever throw up. But I threw up twice, and I was like, "What the hell is going on?" So my husband was like, "Are you sure you're not pregnant?" And I thought about it, and I was like, "No, like." I thought I had a period in April, so I was like, no, there's no way. That's crazy. So, I was like, hold on, let me go take a freaking test really quick. So I ran to the bathroom, took a test. Within like 5 seconds, this line popped up, and I was like, oh, that must be the control line. And then, I'm waiting for the test line to pop up. Well, then I realized that was the test line, and the control line hadn't even popped up yet. So I wasn't just like a little bit like newly pregnant. I was super pregnant. So, um, so I ran out and like told my husband, and he was like, "Are you sure?" And I showed him the test, and he was like, "Okay, well, here we are." Now, mind you, like I already talked to a high risk OBGYN like 2 years ago, and she told me not to get pregnant. Um, that was the plan, was never to get pregnant again. So I had no indication, no desire to really like do this again. And I always wanted more than one kid, but I didn't think with the way my body was that it was going to happen. Well, so I started throwing up, and I didn't stop. So I found out that I was pregnant when I was 6 weeks and 5 days on Mother's Day. Then just started throwing up, and I was in bed all the time, and I just felt like crap. And I stopped eating completely and drinking. I couldn't do anything. Like I was just throwing up constantly. And then I went to the doctor for my first OB appointment in Tucson. And when I got there, well, that morning I had thrown up every 10 minutes for like 4 hours or something straight. So my husband was like, holy crap. And we were on our way. We were getting packed up to leave to go on a trip to California and to tell his parents that we were going to have a baby. And I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I've literally thrown up like 100 times today. This is ridiculous. And yeah, I would throw up, I'd feel better, and then I'd sit down on the couch and immediately throw up again. Like it was just crazy. So he was like, well, let's try. And I was like, okay, whatever. So we got in the car, and as soon as we started driving, I felt so much better. I thought, okay, I'm going to be okay. We got to the doctor's office, and by the time I made it inside and sat down in the waiting room, I was getting nauseous again. And I was like, oh my God, like this is just ridiculous. But I thought, it's just morning sickness. It'll pass. I'll be okay. And I went in, got the ultrasound, and I couldn't even like watch the ultrasound because the baby's heartbeat was making me sick. So they took my blood pressure, and I ripped the cuff off, and I was like, I gotta puke, like I gotta go. So I ran to the bathroom, which happened to be next door to the doctor's office. So I'm puking, and I finally come out, and we go into his office, and they bring me a puke bag and a bottle of water. And he's like, did you throw up this much with your first? And I was like, no, this is way crazy. Like with my first, I had morning sickness, and it was no big deal. I threw up maybe 1 or 2 times a day. And then I was working full time at the Red Cross as a phlebotomist. So I was like on my feet all day, traveling. It was crazy. But I could do that. With this, there was no way. Like I couldn't even leave the house. I couldn't drive. I couldn't take care of my kid. I couldn't do anything. So he was like, okay, well, you have hyperemesis. And I was like, okay. And he prescribed me some nausea meds, and he wanted to admit me in the hospital that day because at that point I had lost 20 pounds in 2 weeks, and they were like, that's not normal. So we told him, okay, well, we're on our way to California right now. So the plan was that when I came back to Arizona, I was going to be admitted into the hospital. Well, we went to California, and I felt okay. Like I was super, super nauseous all the time, but I was able to not puke. I would throw up like 1 or 2 times a day, and that was it for a week. And I was like, okay, well, I was holding down a lot of food. Liquids were a lot harder. Like I couldn't drink any water with like no flavoring in it. So I was just drinking a shit ton of soda. And so my teeth were like falling apart, and not only from the soda but from the vomiting. Then we got back to Arizona, and I was pretty much the same. I was throwing up 1 to 2 times a day, but the nausea was just unrelenting. Like nothing would stop it. So I started taking Dramamine and promethazine and plus the diclegis or whatever, and then whatever I could stomach. And then I was eating, and the problem was I had to eat every 30 minutes to an hour, or I would throw up. So I was eating constantly, like 19 times a day. It was horrible. So my gums were raw, my tongue was raw, my teeth were screwed up. And I was like, this is no life. Like, I can't live like this. I was freaking out. And that went on for 6 weeks. I thought, I was just going to die. Like, there was no way this was going to work. We started doing, ultrasounds and everything. The baby was fine and measuring okay. And now I'm 17 weeks and I feel okay. So the cool thing is that according to some people that I talked to in one of my SOD support groups, when you get pregnant, the hormones from the pregnancy can help relax the sphincter. So you could probably make it your whole pregnancy with very few attacks, if any. So this whole time, I mean, I'm 4 months pregnant and I haven't had any real attacks this whole time. So that's crazy. I've never gone 4 months without an attack. So that's just amazing. But I lost that 20 pounds and then I gained it back from all the eating that I've been having to do. I'm down to only eating like 6 times a day now, which is still kind of crazy for me because I used to be like a really big health nut and I would exercise. I was a personal trainer. I ate really healthy, like paleo and Whole30 and keto and stuff like that. Like I low carb, and now since I've been pregnant, all I can eat is carbs. Like that's all I can hold down. So I'm just disgusted with myself. Not to mention all the hormone changes. I cry all the time. I'm miserable. And now I'm in extreme amounts of pain because of my arthritis in my back and the nerve damage in my back. So my legs barely work at all. Like I have to use a wheelchair when I go out, and I can barely walk around the house and stuff like that. So just like in a really bad place. I'm just, of course, I'm happy that I'm pregnant and I'm happy that we're going to do this and I'm happy that it's a boy and that gives me hope. But I've never been this miserable or this sick and in this much pain in my entire life. And it seems like not very many people understand what I'm going through because I try to keep people updated on Facebook and like my friends and family and stuff, and people think I'm overreacting or I'm just being dramatic or whatever, and they don't understand, like, if you live this life you don't even get it. Like even right now my leg is just burning because I'm sitting down and then my whole back is on fire, and it's just like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do? My daughter's been gone to visit her father for the last few weeks, and that's the only thing that's keeping me okay is that I don't have anyone relying on me. But when she comes back, I don't even know how I'm going to handle that. Like, I'm just scared that she's going to resent me because I'm not the mom that I used to be and I can't do the things I did before. And I just want my body back and I want to be healthy and normal again. But I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think I'm going to be really screwed up after this, especially the bigger that I get. Because I mean, I'm showing now, but I'm not even halfway done. And it's just going to get a lot worse. So I'll probably do a lot more videos just because I'm here and I'm in pain and I'm disabled and I have nothing else to do. But if anyone wants to reach out to me, I guess, and let me know like how you handled being disabled while pregnant, or Sphincter of Oddi while pregnant, you know, any of that stuff, I'm here. And I get back to everyone really quick because I have my phone on me 24/7 because I'm not doing anything else. So, yeah, well, I guess I'll sign off of here and just expect probably like weekly videos or something. Um, yeah, so let me know if you guys need anything else. Bye.